Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star 2 episode number 128 based on novel. So let's start. Luo Feng comprehended the secret patterns deep in the Star Tower. Countless secret patterns swirled deeper. When he even peeked into the deepest part, time began to stagnate. Then the deeper secret patterns began to show colors. The end of the colorful secret patterns was the blood-colored scale with 12 colors on the edge. This blood-colored scale was like the supreme rule. It was supreme. It was indestructible and eternal. The core of the secret pattern of the Star Tower is the thickness, solidity and eternal indestructible of life. Luo Feng had watched it too many times. Looking directly at the blood-colored scales would have a constant impact and pollution on his spiritual will. Luo Feng temporarily withdrew from observation and began to operate his own power. Buzz! An illusory tower emerged in a triangular cone shape. The illusory tower gradually condensed, and the secret patterns on the surface flowed. Whoosh! Suddenly, the illusory tower collapsed. Why is it so difficult to create a 9-branch fusion secret method? Luo Feng sighed softly. Just like ordinary second-level God Kings, it is not difficult to create some peak secrets of the second-level God King, but to create the ultimate secret, the difficulty immediately soars. Like Emperor Guishu, God King Wuxin, some emperors of the Flame Wind Ancient Kingdom, and monarchs of the Thunder Ancient Kingdom, they spent endless years to create a few ultimate secrets. The same reason. As of now, Luo Feng has created 9 secrets of the 8-branch fusion moves of the Great Tao of Life and Death. Like the previous Great Extinction style, Skylight Silver Shuttle, Black Light Escape Method, Dripping Blood, and Cage, these 5 moves have also been perfected to the level of 8-branch fusion. 8-branch fusion is already very easy for me. I have created 9 secrets. But I can't create any 9-branch fusion moves. Luo Feng shook his head gently. The 9-branch fusion moves of the Great Tao of Life and Death belong to the ultimate moves of the Great Tao of Life and Death. The difficulty is much higher than the 8-branch moves. On the contrary, the Great Tao of Life and the Great Tao of Destruction, because of the accurate guidance of the Great Tao, Luo Feng has also exchanged the Scale of Destruction and the Lotus Seed, and now he can create the ultimate secret method. Great Tao of Life and Great Tao of Destruction, their ultimate secret methods do not feel difficult. After the fusion of the Great Tao of Life and Death, the fusion of the 9 branches is extremely difficult. Luo Feng tried to condense the illusionary Star Tower with his own strength. The illusionary Star Tower protects oneself, pursuing the limit of defense. Why is the illusionary Star Tower I condensed a triangular cone instead of a 9-story tower? Luo Feng also realized that he was still far from it. Even if the 9 branches were truly fused, it would only be a little bit of the Star Tower. Luo Feng could only calm down and concentrate on practicing. What's the problem with the illusionary Star Tower? Why can't it be stable? Luo Feng carefully studied the mystery of the secret pattern, and time passed day by day. Suddenly one day, the long-term accumulation of comprehension caused a qualitative change. In Luo Feng's mind, the 4 branches of the Great Tao of Life and Death, Skylight Branch, Blood Drop Branch, Walker Branch, and Eternal Branch, suddenly merged perfectly into one, without any confusion. The Great Tao of Life and Death thus entered the 2nd-level God King. From then on, Luo Feng was in the 2nd-level God King in all 3 paths of life, destruction, and life and death. Of course, the first 2 paths were much easier, and he created several secret methods of the ultimate realm. I created 9 kinds of 8-branch fusion techniques, and the Great Tao of Life and Death entered the 2nd level of the God King. Without an accurate reference to the Great Tao, the requirements for accumulation are indeed too high. Luo Feng was in a very good mood. I don't know how high the reward can be given by the infinite space. The infinite space attaches great importance to the 2 things of spiritual will and the opening of the Great Tao. Infinite space. On an island in the middle of a lake, there are no mind creatures here, only Luo Feng's clone is here, and the mist spreads to cover most of the lake. The 2nd level of the Great Tao of Life and Death. Luo Feng sat cross-legged on the shore of the island, looking at the lake in front of him, and as soon as he thought of it, he began to show the mystery of the great Tao. Who? A ray of power flew out from Luo Feng, drawing a trajectory in the air, easily cutting all the spatial layers, and even cutting a black crack in the most fundamental membrane wall of infinite space. After that, this ray of power condensed into a drop of blood. This drop of blood turned into a star, slowly rolling between heaven and earth, causing the heaven and earth to tremble. After that, this tiny star turned into a dark abyss and naturally began to swallow all directions. The dark abyss collapsed and turned into a light point. Once the light point was formed, a terrifying field spread in all directions. Just a ray of power fully demonstrated the many mysteries of the 4 branches of the great way of life and death, the skylight branch, the blood-dropping branch, the walker branch, and the eternal branch. Only by understanding the mystery can one do what one wants and let the 4 branches merge and change at will. Finally, buzz! A message came from the mark on Luo Feng's palm. Trialist, Luo Feng from the origin continent. With the 2 great Tao of life and destruction as the foundation, a new great Tao has been opened up. The new great Tao rating, special. 100,000 bonus points. You have finally taken the second step on the new great Tao. You still need to work hard to completely master this great Tao. Before mastering a complete great Tao, your spiritual will successfully broke through the limit of the God King. The spiritual will rating, special. 100,000 bonus points. Your spiritual will is very good. Perhaps you can go further? Reminder, it is forbidden to kill any mind creatures. Violators will be completely expelled from the infinite space. The total bonus points are 184,193.03 points. Luo Feng was quite excited after learning the content of this information. Open up a new great Tao, reach the 2nd level of God King, and get a reward of 100,000 points. Counting the 100,000 points rewarded when the spiritual will reaches the level beyond God King. This is a full 200,000 points, which is his greatest wealth. After coming to the infinite space for so long, Luo Feng has always been very cautious in using the reward points. The large expenditures are mainly the lotus seeds and the scales of destruction. As for exchanging inheritances, they are mainly the inheritances of the 1st and 2nd level God King. He has not been willing to exchange for inheritances that are too expensive. I can't kill any mind creatures, so the only way to get reward points is to open up the great Tao and continue to improve the spiritual will. Luo Feng thought. Looking at the information description, there should be rewards for fully mastering the great Tao of life and death. But Luo Feng also understood one thing. The great Tao of time, space, life, infinity, destruction, etc. exist in the supreme rules. Even so, the only 2 who can comprehend the complete great Tao by themselves in this era of the long years of the origin continent are Emperor Qing and the Lord of the 10,000 realms. There is no reference for the great Tao of life and death. To realize the complete Tao of life and death, the difficulty can be imagined. There are guidance for ordinary great Taos, but even if the emperors and monarchs comprehend 5 or 6 ultimate secrets, they may not be able to comprehend the great Tao. From this, we can infer that there is no guidance for the great Tao of life and death, and it is estimated that at least 10 ultimate secrets must be comprehended before there is hope of comprehending the great Tao. What is the so-called further advancement of the spiritual will? Luo Feng was somewhat confused. Before mastering the great Tao, the spiritual will reach the level of the God Emperor, and the evaluation was special. So what can be done if it is 1 step higher? That's all. Luo Feng began to check the infinite space treasure house. Huh? Luo Feng was somewhat surprised. I still can't see the God King Ultimate chapter of the perfect level inheritance. For the perfect level inheritance, the 2nd level chapter of the God King generally requires 10,000 reward points. The ultimate chapter? Luo Feng's current reward points are not qualified to see it. According to the infinite space pricing model, the ultimate chapter is generally 20 times that of the 2nd level chapter of the God King. I have special evaluations for both, but I am not qualified to see the ultimate chapter of the perfect level inheritance. What kind of genius is required to be qualified to learn the ultimate chapter of the perfect level inheritance? Luo Feng sighed secretly. With the help of the invisible and formless, the ultimate realm of the chaotic origin bloodline creatures in the origin continent is the limit of my transformation. Luo Feng thought, I don't practice the material origin, so there is no need to exchange the ultimate realm chapter of world life form. These reward points must be used on the blade. Luo Feng carefully read the inheritance information. Look at the treasure information. Luo Feng was very interested in those treasures, because according to Emperor Qing, treasures starting with 100,000 reward points are of certain help to jump out of the cage, and are also what the outside cultivators want very much. The first treasure, a sword, requires 180,000 reward points to exchange. This sword is a sword made of the material of the corpse of the chaotic origin ancestor. It is suitable for practitioners of the three paths of thunder, destruction, and matter. If one's comprehend it, he may jump out of the cage. Reminder, such treasures are suitable for staying in the origin world for comprehension, and must not be taken out of the origin world, otherwise there will be endless troubles. The second treasure, the time-space mirror, requires 180,000 reward points to exchange. This is a mirror made by collecting rare treasures from the chaotic origin space. With this mirror, one can retain memories and reincarnate into any origin world without being rejected by the supreme rules of any origin world. Practicing in different origin worlds under different supreme rules is extremely helpful. Reminder, 1. Cultivators of the time path or the space path are suitable for exchanging this treasure. Cultivators of other paths will get lower rewards from exchanging. 2. This treasure must not be taken out of the origin world. Luo Feng was stunned by the treasures one by one. Even if you get special evaluations in the two items of opening the Great Tao and the Will of the Heart. If you exchange one of these treasures, there will be very few reward points left. Luo Feng felt that the threshold for exchanging this kind of treasure was very high. In Senior Yuan's arrangement, even the most dazzling genius can only exchange one of these treasures. Only if your talent is high enough can you not waste this treasure. Luo Feng continued to look. Suddenly, the 34th ranked treasure, the Eye of Life and Death, requires 120,000 reward points to exchange. This is an eye, the Eye of Life and Death, made from the complete corpse of a world-class chaotic origin life form, the Life and Death Beast. With this eye, one can spy on the vitality of all things, as well as the weakness of destruction of all things. Cultivators of the path of life and destruction are suitable for exchange, as they can comprehend the mysteries of life and destruction, which will help them break out of the cage. Reminder, this treasure must not be taken out of the origin world. Good treasure. Luo Feng's heart was burning. Other high-ranking treasures are suitable for life and destruction. The Eye of Life and Death is suitable for both life and destruction. Luo Feng looked at the treasures one by one. In addition to the Eye of Life and Death, there is another treasure that is suitable for both life and destruction. The secret treasure, Indestructible Heart, requires 43,000 reward points to redeem. It has the characteristics of being indestructible and having unlimited vitality. It can also bless the physical body and condense an extra extremely strong combat body. It is suitable for practicing the path of life and destruction. In the entire treasure house, there are only these two treasures that are suitable for the path of life and destruction. This one is much cheaper. Luo Feng was also a little tempted, but it's also very good. Many of the secret treasures in the infinite space treasure house have conceptual abilities. So Emperor Qing and the others guessed that they should be secret treasures refined by the chaotic origin life forms that jumped out of the cage. Treasures above 100,000 reward points are all helpful in jumping out of the cage. 2/3 of these treasures that help jump out of the cage cannot be taken out of the origin world. Luo Feng looked at the information. In particular, the powerful treasures refined from the corpse materials of the chaotic origin ancestors and world-class chaotic origin life forms cannot be taken out. It can be seen that Senior Yuan and his friends really hope that the younger generation can jump out of the cage. Luo Feng thought. Infinite Space selects for the two aspects of spiritual will and the opening of the Great Tao, and selects many geniuses in the origin world who are dazzling enough, and gives these geniuses inheritance and treasures. Senior Yuan and his friends did not get any benefit from it. Perhaps the only benefit is that more of the younger generation can jump out of the cage. I only have more than 180,000 reward points in total. What can I exchange for? Luo Feng thought. He also needs to consider the exchange of inheritance in the future. There are not many reward points that can be used. He carefully looked at the treasure house information. For the item of spiritual will, I am not sure whether I can get rewards in the future. But the Great Tao of Life and Death, as long as you master the complete Great Tao, there should be reward points. Luo Feng made a decision. Mastering the complete Great Tao of Life and Death must be very difficult. But it is also many times easier than jumping out of the cage. If you can't even master the Great Tao of Life and Death, there is no need to think too far. Exchange, the Eye of Life and Death. Luo Feng decided immediately. Remind the trialists, after exchanging, the trialists can use the Eye of Life and Death forever. But after the trialists die completely, the Eye of Life and Death will automatically return to the infinite space. A message came, please confirm, do you still want to exchange? Luo Feng was startled. As long as he is alive, he can always use the Eye of Life and Death. If he dies, will it be taken back? Senior Yuan and his friends spent a lot of effort to refine the rare treasure. If he really dies, his descendants will not be able to use such treasures. Exchange. Luo Feng did not hesitate. Exchange successful. Trialist Luo Feng, remind you, this is the 13th exchange of the Eye of Life and Death. Among the previous 12 exchanges, one jumped out of the cage and became a high-level chaotic origin life forms, but he still died in the end. Luo Feng's heart moved. Is he the 13th exchanger of the Eye of Life and Death? Origin Continent, Huyang City, the quiet room of the City Lord's mansion, the space inside the Star Tower. Buzz. Luo Feng sat cross-legged, and a wave passed through the space barrier and appeared in front of him. This is an extremely huge eye. Even after being refined and greatly reduced in size, its size is still much larger than Luo Feng's world life form. 90% of this eye is black, like a thick ink-like cloud. Only the central area is a dazzling golden light. The source of this dazzling golden light is faintly countless golden secret patterns. After the successful exchange, Luo Feng also obtained detailed information about the Eye of Life and Death. According to the detailed information, the world-class chaotic origin life form's life and death pupil beast is in the shape of an eye. It even reaches 1,000th of the size of a normal origin world. Then the whole body is refined into a secret treasure. After refining, you only need the will of the God Emperor to control it. Luo Feng immediately touched the huge eye in front of him with a wisp of consciousness. The moment of contact. Boom! In a trance, Luo Feng saw a towering and huge creature that looked like an eye. Facing its direct gaze, he seemed to have no secrets and everything was seen through. Buzz. Luo Feng's spiritual consciousness quickly penetrated and touched the deepest part of the Eye of Life and Death. The deepest part of the Eye of Life and Death contains countless secret patterns. There are two types of secret patterns. One is life, and the other is destruction. Both secret patterns are extremely vast, and they are entangled with each other, interdependent, and finally converge into the shape of the source's eyes. Although life and destruction have not merged, they cooperate with each other in a very mysterious way. This treasure is too suitable for me. Luo Feng was amazed. Although he pursued the complete fusion of the two. But watching how life and destruction cooperated still made Luo Feng gain a lot. Whether it is the Star Tower or the Eye of Life and Death, they are the cooperation of many secret patterns, not fused into one. In terms of fusion, Luo Feng needs to explore it himself. From the perspective of the internal secret patterns, the Eye of Life and Death is one level weaker than the Star Tower. Luo Feng can see at a glance the gap between the two. Just like one is a star and the other is the sun. The gap is obvious. But even as a star, the profound mystery is still as vast as the sea of smoke. After all, it is made from the complete corpse of the world-class chaotic origin life forms. Luo Feng is full of countless obstacles to study it thoroughly. Buzz. When the spiritual consciousness was completely imprinted on the eyes of the inner source, the entire Eye of Life and Death completely recognized the master. After all, this was a secret treasure refined by Yuan and the others, and it was very easy to use. The huge Eye of Life and Death quickly shrank, and at the same time flew towards Luo Feng, flying into the position between his eyebrows. In fact, as a secret treasure, this Eye of Life and Death can be released alone, or placed in the palm of your hand. But as a creature from Earth, Luo Feng habitually placed his third eye between his eyebrows. Open your eyes and take a look at this world. The Eye of Life and Death between Luo Feng's eyebrows slowly opened the Eye of Life and Death. 90% of the area was black, and only the pupil was a dazzling golden light. The walls of the Star Tower were under Luo Feng's control without any obstacles. Luo Feng could see the outside world at a glance. The first thing he saw was Huyang City. There were billions of creatures in Huyang City. Luo Feng glanced at them and saw through their lives completely. Whether it was the flesh or the soul, including the most basic life structure, there was no secret. Only the ultimate realm beast had a slight obstacle. Morosa. Luo Feng looked at the whole city. The ultimate realm beast, which was slightly covered, had a perfect path. He couldn't spy on all the secrets of Morosa. Under the Eye of Life and Death, Luo Feng still saw the realm in Morosa's body. The essence of that realm is a complete great Tao of destruction in operation. Just like the essence of the original universe, it is a complete great Tao of life in operation. After reaching its peak stage, the realm in Morosa's body is comparable to the original universe. Morosa's most powerful is the realm in his body. If he can use the realm in his body more skillfully, his strength can be further improved. But his weakness of destruction is also the realm in his body. As long as the operation of a realm targets the weakness, the operation rules will easily collapse. The annihilation of the realm is the complete annihilation of Morosa. Luo Feng still has some confusion about the realm in Morosa's body. But just from the part he spied on, he found at least 7 weaknesses in the operation. He is sure that in the blink of an eye, he can destroy the operation of the realm in Morosa's body and destroy Morosa. You can see the most powerful place of life, and you can also see the fatal weakness. Luo Feng looked outside Huyang City. Under the eyes of life and death, all the strong men in the entire origin continent can no longer hide. The Lord of Shadow Heaven Realm, God King Puxin, and other mysterious beings. Luo Feng's Eye of Life and Death broke through the obstacles of the formation and the obstacles of the secret space and saw these strong men. One after another, the chaotic origin bloodline creatures. Luo Feng also saw the chaotic origin bloodline creatures cultivated by the 2 ancient kingdoms. Although these creatures are generally hidden in independent spaces and covered by formations, they cannot avoid being spied on. In the entire origin continent, there are a total of 9 types of chaotic origin bloodline creatures with ultimate strength. Luo Feng saw it clearly. The weakest only has 3 phases. The strongest has 12 phases. Luo Feng's Eye of Life and Death at this moment can break through many formations and space obstacles to see those chaotic origin bloodline creatures and even see the most basic structure of their lives. These chaotic origin bloodline creatures have low intelligence, and their most special thing is the blood in their bodies. Under Luo Feng's prying, these bloodlines are not covered at all, let alone the strong vitality and the weak points of destruction. The whole life inside and outside, all can be seen through. I don't even need to collect the materials of these bloodline creatures to comprehend their life forms. I even understand their substances and can change them. Luo Feng exclaimed. He had collected 3 ultimate-level chaotic origin bloodline creature materials before. But now there is no need to collect them. As long as he is in the origin continent, under the Eye of Life and Death, watching is like taking it in your hand and carefully examining it. There is no difference. 3 major foreign races, the ancestors of the 2 kingdoms, and the ancestor of the East Pole territory. Luo Feng also saw them and frowned slightly, but it's too blurry to watch them. These God Emperor level beings are much higher in realm than the chaotic origin bloodline creatures. Their lives are more mysterious, and there are all kinds of secret methods to protect them. Luo Feng can't see the essence of their life. He only has the most basic ability to see where the vitality is strong and where the destruction is weak. Even if I see the weakness, it won't threaten them. Luo Feng knew it after seeing it, because the clones of the Flame Wind Ancestor, the Thunder Ancestor, and the East Pole Territory Ancestor were too powerful. With the upper limit of the power of the origin continent, it is useless to target the fatal weakness. Luo Feng continued to watch other places. Watch the operation of the origin continent. Watch the operation of the universe ocean. Watch the original universes of 3,000-dimensional space. Every original universe seemed to be watched up close. Luo Feng blinked his eyes and clearly saw the core of the origin continent, the supreme rules formed by the 9 origin Great Taos. The Great Tao originally allowed the God Kings to spy on it and was not defensive against the creatures in the origin world. So with the Eye of Life and Death, Luo Feng could see the complete supreme rules. This is the supreme rule. Luo Feng watched. To understand the supreme rule, you must first understand these 9 origin Great Taos, and then understand how the 9 origin Great Taos work perfectly together, and finally form the supreme rule. Once you understand the supreme rule, you will naturally jump out of the cage long ago, and even have the hope of creating a new origin world. Luo Feng guessed. Although he saw it, it was useless. Just like a mortal can see the sun and guess the life cycle of the sun. But to create a sun is more than 1 billion times more difficult than spying. Observation is the most important step. Luo Feng now understood the importance of the Eye of Life and Death. Most of the practitioners were groping in the dark, and only by studying the corpses of high-level chaotic origin life forms could they gain more knowledge about the outside of the cage. The Eye of Life and Death allowed Luo Feng to peek outside the cage and learn more high-level secrets. This level of opportunity would only be given to the most dazzling geniuses in countless worlds. Luo Feng blinked again, and the prying of the Eye of Life and Death had already broken through the membrane wall of the origin world, and saw the vast and endless chaotic origin power of the outside world. Although after death, the Eye of Life and Death will return to the infinite space. However, this is still a huge opportunity. Luo Feng understood that in terms of mystery, the Eye of Life and Death was not as profound as the Star Tower. But in terms of assisting practice, the Eye of Life and Death is much better. Even so, the previous 12 exchanges, each of whom can be called a peerless genius, still only one can jump out of the cage, and even the one who jumped out of the cage died in battle. Luo Feng also understood that the road is difficult. In the infinite space, there are dozens of treasures that are ranked higher than the Eye of Life and Death. As for those with higher value, I am not qualified to see them for the time being. There are probably many exchanges of those treasures in history, each of whom is amazingly talented, but how many of them can successfully jump out of the cage? This video will end here.